So firstly, I would like to thank Women Tech Network for having me here. So my speech today will be related to social media and mental health. So I'm Naina Runnoo from Mauritius. I'm a research assistant, and I would like to know, where are you all from? And are you still in the lockdown period? Drop down in the chat box, I would like to say. Okay, so Carla is from Oh wow, Carla is from Frankfurt, and there is a girl, Tasneem, who is from Mauritius too. Vlada is from Russia, Aishwarya, India, Serbia. Okay, that's cool. Are you still in the lockdown period? Oh, okay, many of you. So all this emotion that you've been going through during the lockdown period, well, I've been through that too, but not during this period, because I have learned how to control my emotion before they control me. So I actually wanted to impress you with some stats and facts, but I did went on Google to search information related to mental health during this pandemic and our social media exposure. And after receiving 247 million results in less than 0.38 seconds, I realized that I'm here today to help you guys and not to impress you. So I'll start with my first technique, which is you get to choose to trick your mind by smiling. Yes, you've heard it properly. You get to choose to trick your mind by smiling. And okay, I'm sharing a slide. So it has been scientifically proven that our facial expression can influence our same way our brain influences our face. So whenever you do a sad expression, you can make your brain believe that you're actually sad, and it eventually trick your brain that you're sad, and you eventually become sad. If you do an angry expression, you can trick your brain to believe that you're angry. And this happened because different reaction triggers different chemical reaction in our brain. And it is that chemical reaction that tell our brain how we are feeling. I personally, whenever someone is trying to irritate me or make me sad, I personally enter my Tokyo, one of the character in Money Heist. So I behave like her. Whenever someone is trying to make me sad or angry, I try to behave like her, and it helps me because it helps me not to feel sad or angry and instead be quite nonchalant. And so the next time you see a post on social media that makes you feel inadequate, you can trick your mind and unleash the inner Tokyo in you, or the Barney Stinson, and be awesome instead. So drop on the chat box the expression that you would do. I would like to know. No reply, no expression. Okay. Listening. Yes, it does. It depends what kind of music. And now I'll tell you the second technique. So the second technique is you get to choose to practice mindfulness. I know you get to see this everywhere, but I had to state it because for sure it is an effective technique. So focus on being present, meditate, journal, and only allow positive self talks and thoughts. So Deruba Parvin asked me, what is mindfulness? It is being present and avoid overthinking about what's happening in the future. It's about focusing on being present. And generally, notice what triggers you, journal about it, and take necessary action because, okay, I'm sharing screen. Because, okay, you can't destroy what's destroying you if you don't know what it is. Okay. I'm reading Neha's comment. In a very worst scenario, our mind keep thinking about it. How to stay mindfulness during the... So, Neha, can you try to be more explicit? I did not understand. And yeah, you can have anxiety, but a way... Okay. I'll reply it. I'll take the question for later. So you can have anxiety, but you can choose not to let it control you. And a way I interrupt anxiety is by writing things I'm grateful for and drop it on a gratitude jar that I have. And whenever I feel sad or anxious, I reread everything, or I can just write new things I'm grateful for. And this way, I get to realize how lucky and blessed I am. And I would like to know what are the different ways you practice mindfulness on the chat. I know Aishwarya Gupta, she meditates. Okay. So I'll try and make this more fun now. So technique, meditation and journaling. Okay. So technique 3 is more fun. It's about choosing to deactivate your social media. And no, I'm not serious. I'm not going to ask you to deactivate your social media. So what's the real technique? 3. Real technique 3 is do not compare yourself to anyone. Abigail, we can talk later. I would like to know more about this. So, like, okay, do not compare and do not compare your life to someone's highlight reel and feel like the world owes you something. You know, any energy you waste upon comparing yourself with someone else means you have less energy to spend on yourself. And the thing is, assume you have this super smartphone that you just bought and you accidentally downloaded this app, which is unimportant, spammy, and full of ads called Comparing. Now, each time you recharge your mobile phone, this app called Comparing just drain your battery life by 90%. At the end of the day, you're left with only 10% to use on things that are truly useful. Now, you truly don't want such an app on your mobile phone, right? So Uninstall that. Uninstall comparing yourself to other people. And the earlier you stop comparing yourself, the better it is for you and your mental health. I'm reading the comments, and thank you, Vijesh. Thank you, Tanya and Agatha. When you compare yourself to exactly, Agatha said something very, very interesting. And now I'll move to technique. Okay. I only have 9 minutes, so I'll try to rush up. So technique 4 is we get to choose to do something for someone else. So have you ever done a very little act of kindness and you obtain an immediate happiness after? For example, I often open the door and I feel really happy when I do this. Drop in the chat box what small things you have done. I would like to know, and it gave you an immediate happiness. Oh, yeah, Ayushi, this is because kindness releases the feel-good hormones. Now, how can you use this technique about being kind on social media? Assume you see a post and it's something related to your niche. You see someone posting an amazing, very creative workout video or a meal prep that they did. So if you secretly wanted you to be that person who came across it and posted it, then what you should do, instead of having that hatred inside of you, because you genuinely like that post, it's just you being jealous. So what you can do is like that post, comment on it, or you can even share it and tag that person. You'll feel way better. And before I move to technique number 5, I would like to know if there is anything worrying you right now. Drop it in the chat. Tanya, I'll reply to you after, because I have 7 minutes. I'll try to rush with technique 5 and then I'll do this. And yeah, so is there anything making you people anxious right now or making you worrying? Okay. Staying away from the family, future, anxiety. So technique 5 is you get to choose to ask yourself 2 questions whenever you are worrying or layoff and unemployment. So the first question is, will what's worrying you right now matter in 5 minutes? Oh God, in 5 years, sorry. If it does, do not spend. I'm scared to learn things. Okay, so will worrying, oh my God, I don't. Okay, first is, if something is worrying you, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, just don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it. For example, not receiving, because I'm relating to social media right now, so not receiving thousands of likes right now will not matter in 5 years, so we're not going to worry about it. And the next question is, what if it was your last day on earth? Would not receiving enough oh God, Tanya, I just hope I end the talk in 6 minutes. So so not receiving enough like, would it matter? Oh God, thank you, people. You're nice. And do you want to be recognized as someone who had thousands of followers or likes on Instagram? It's not that things you want, right? It's not the kind of legacy you want. So take back your power on social media, from social media, and focus on yourself, what truly matters. So these were the 5 techniques. I would like to know which one you like best. You can use one of them, 2 of them, or all the 5 of them. It depends upon you. As you have seen during my speech, I have been saying you get instead of you got. But I said you get whenever I was stating the techniques, but I said you got when I said you got to choose you, because choosing you is a priority, and choosing your mental health as well is a priority. But choosing the different techniques, it's a gift. You see whether you want to take it or not. So you get it. So whether you choose to take it, it's upon you. But remember, you got to choose you and your mental health. So I'm now open for the questions, and I'll try to get it. Okay, Sarita, how can you help yourself not to feel inferior? You're unique. You don't have to compare yourself. And what do you really mean by inferior? Does people make you feel so? Or is it because of yourself? Is it from other people make you feel so? Is it outer or is it inner? It's like, yes, Haley, I interrupt anxiety by writing things I'm grateful for. It's an efficient way to really know to focus on being grateful instead. And Tanya, what's my take on the pandemic affecting everyone's mindset? Especially everyone has become very anxious by the news. It depends. When you have something like a pandemic coming, you either have to take it 2 ways. Either you fear it or you focus on the positive sides of it. Because when you're fearing, you're becoming anxious about it, you're going to aggravate your health more. But when you choose to be responsive with it instead of being reactive, but to say, okay, you can't control it. You can't control what's happening right now, but you can control your mindset. And the thing is, when you can't, like, we don't focus on what you can't control, but rather focus on what you can control. How, okay. Abigail said, what first inspired my positive mindset? Ever since I've dropped myself from, that club called Ain't That Awful, there are some people who keep on saying, oh, ain't that awful, what's happening now? So whether I dropped from that club and started meeting people with more positive mindset, I found myself having more in my life, like being more successful. And I think we shouldn't compare. And okay, if you have more questions, because I have only 1 minute to go, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is just drop me a message on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook and Instagram. Let me know you came from this conference so that oh, thank you, Tanya. Thank you for being attentive, and I hope it helps you. So just drop me a message if you have any questions on my Instagram, because the live will be soon over.